Now on CoastTV News.
Oversight fight. A challenge to Delaware's new hospital law is moving forward in court. What's next and why some are standing by the law. Budget battle. A big funding request for Ocean City Police just got denied. What it means for safety. And Musk exit. Elon Musk is leaving Washington. What's next after his short stint in government?
We have an active tornado watch right now, still in effect until midnight. We're tracking some isolated cells that you need to know more about.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight still under a tornado watch. As we take a live look into Lewis, we're going to turn things right over to CoastTV Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. He's been tracking this all night. Paul, what can you tell us?
We've had a lot of near misses for our immediate area, although Western Delmarva did receive a couple of tornado warnings. In our immediate viewing area, we were quite fortunate to avoid that. Still very much wet streets and very active winds. For the rest of the night, we're not so much concerned about the tornadoes, but still some strong winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible. Here's the latest look at the cells that are racing, now picking up a little more momentum, continuing to move towards the northeast. And this is an isolated pocket of the cells that's seeing more impact just coming off of Highway 13, headed towards Ellendale and towards Milford. Now, the latest tracking that we're seeing right now is tracking to the northeast at approximately 30 miles per hour, expected to hit Milford at 11:11, Milton at 11:17, Broadkill Beach at about 11:29. We're still under the tornado watch until 12 o'clock, but this looks like the last wave of that's pushing through, but we're starting to see a little bit of circulation associated with a couple of these cells, so that's going to be worth monitoring. And as far as our rainfall so far, here's a look at it real quickly. We'll have more on your full forecast coming up in a moment.
Thank you so much, Paul. We'll check back in. New tonight, the Delaware Court of Chancery is allowing part of ChristianaCare's lawsuit against the state to move forward. The hospital system is challenging a new law that created a state board to review and control hospital budgets. They argue the board gives the government too much control over private hospital operations. A judge ruling Friday that their constitutional claim can continue, but other parts of the lawsuit were dismissed. Now, Senate Majority Leader Brian Townsend, he was a lead sponsor of this bill. He was defending the law in a statement today after this court ruling, saying the goal of the law is to increase transparency and control rising healthcare costs. He said in that statement today, in part, quote, "It was disappointing, but not surprising that ChristianaCare filed a lawsuit in the Court of Chancery. All along, they have resisted any kind of transparency and accountability," unquote. Now to Ocean City, where a funding decision could put the Ocean City Police Department in a tough spot. County leaders decided to not award a $1.4 million request from the town. The money would have been used to support the Ocean City Police Department, which is entering its first summer without seasonal officer programs. Commission President Ted Elder says there were worries that the town would make the request again next year, but Commissioner Joe Matresic says that reasoning doesn't really make sense.
I pointed out it was a one-time grant in both budget work sessions. So to think that it was going to be continuing, and that's just an excuse anyway. I mean, we can next year, if they ask for it again, we can say no. And we said, hey, you said it was a one-time grant. It's a one-time grant. But I don't think Ocean City would have come back for that.
County commissioners still need to cast their final votes before this year's budget. That's going to happen next Tuesday, June 3rd in Worcester County. According to Milton Police, 6 people were sent to the hospital earlier today after a DART bus started an extensive car crash. The impact happened on Milton Ellendale Highway and Mulberry Street. CoastTV spoke with 2 men in the middle car of that crash. They shared their experience.
So we were at a red light, stopped, and then we just kind of felt a boom behind us. And then we see a bus go around us, kind of into the trees behind us. And then we kind of get out, see the car behind us was kind of smushed in half. It got really hit, and then we hit a car in front of us.
And police tell us they are still looking into the exact cause of that crash. Now, if you've driven through Milton, you have probably experienced a narrow street or two. The town now looking to put more restrictions on large trucks driving on those narrow streets, specifically for trucks with more than 2 axles or weighing more than 5,000 pounds. if adopted, this ordinance would not apply to trucks providing local services. One person in Milton says they're hoping the change goes through.
I think it's not only prudent and reasonable, but it's wise. It's a safety concern. It's very difficult to walk around at the shops and things, and the local traffic and the local cars have difficulty when there are those big things coming through.
And the Milton Town Council is expected to discuss this at their meeting on Monday night. And this does bring us to our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, how do trucks impact your drive through coastal towns? Let's take a look at the results. You can see 55% saying they don't really have a problem with it. 17% say it's a safety hazard. 9% worried about the noise. 19% say it's causing some delays, some backups maybe. You can vote in this poll. It's not too late. Go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Well, the Pride flags are flying in Rehoboth Beach as we're just 2 days away from the start of Pride Month. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson gives us a Pride preview in the nation's summer capital.
Pride Month is just days away, and Rehoboth Beach has long been a haven for the LGBTQ+ community here on the coast. But for Milton local Anita Kiger, this year feels different.
This year, there's so much fear involved now, fear of being exposed, fear of being hurt physically. But the thing that I'm so excited about is none of us are giving into the fear. Hopefully that this year will be bigger and louder and brighter than ever.
That's something Deb Lawrence, whose son is a part of the LGBTQ+ community, agrees with.
I think the current administration is despicable, and I think this is a time for the gay community to come out, be seen, be proud of who they are, and to show the world that they're just wonderful people.
Here on Sunday at the City Hall here in Rehoboth Beach, there will be a flag raising of the LGBTQ+ flag to officially kick off Pride Month here in the nation's summer capital. Camp Rehoboth is a community and resource center in Rehoboth Beach for the LGBTQ+ community. Communication manager Maddie Brown says this month has come a long way since the beginning.
It started in 1969 as a riot in New York City as a call to action for LGBTQ+ rights. And since then, it's become a time for visibility, whether that's pride parades, gatherings.
Pride runs deep in Rehoboth Beach, even in the face of adversity. In Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
Well, now you're looking at some coolers filled with whole blood. It's from today's blood drive partnership with Sussex County EMS and the Blood Bank of Delmarva. 2 years ago, Sussex County EMS started carrying whole blood in the field when responding to trauma calls. Tony Prado with the Blood Bank of Delmarva says the whole state will soon be on board with carrying whole blood.
They brought us something that made us think about a new way of delivering blood to the Delmarva community, and it's just been exciting to see it grow and become such a powerful force. It's not done in a lot of parts of the country. We're an elite company, and it's something that you hope will spread to the rest of the U.S.
And Prado says keep an eye out for their upcoming blood drive partnership with local breweries called Blood for a Brew. Now to the major shift inside the Trump administration with Elon Musk set to leave. Today, Musk appeared with the president at the Oval Office. All this as there's breaking news on the tariff front. Gabe Gutierrez has the latest.
Tonight, Elon Musk is saying goodbye to Washington, at least for now.
He's my friend, and he's done a fantastic job.
President Trump heaping praise on the tech titan, presenting him with a golden key for leading the Department of Government Efficiency. Musk's turbulent time at Doge falling short of his own cost-cutting predictions as he leaves his 130-day appointment.
Well, I expect to continue to provide advice whenever the president would like advice. I'm confident that over time we'll see $1 trillion of savings.
But the billionaire is facing a new controversy.
Vote, vote, vote.
While Musk was a fixture on the campaign trail last year, the New York Times citing people familiar with activities who allege he was using drugs, including ketamine, ecstasy, and psychedelic mushrooms, far more intensely than previously known. Musk has previously said he was prescribed ketamine for depression. NBC News has not confirmed any of the accusations in the report. Today, Musk did not directly respond.
There is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between...
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate?
The Pulitzer board saying the Times reporting was not discredited. Meanwhile, the president today touting his own win in the Supreme Court involving his deportation efforts. The justices allowing him to revoke temporary protections for over 500,000 migrants from Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Haiti. Former President Biden had granted them mass parole, allowing them into the U.S.
Some of murders, it's very important that we're able to get those people out of here fast, bring them back to their country where they belong.
Late today, the president visiting a steel plant outside Pittsburgh and announcing a deal to allow a Japanese company to merge with U.S. Steel with an American CEO, after candidate Trump had opposed it.
If you don't have steel, you don't have a country.
So when it comes to the steel tariffs, you support what the president's doing?
Absolutely.
Local officials optimistic the merger and other Trump policies will bring more jobs.
They've been wondering, are they going to have a job? Are they, going to be able to save their house? The kids go to college, and I was just overwhelmed with happiness.
And we are just getting started tonight at 11. Coming up ahead, Boeing break. The government drops its criminal case over 2 deadly crashes. What Boeing still has to pay and why some are questioning the deal. But first, we have all your cool things to do this weekend coming up next.
Right now, we're continuing to track some very strong storms that we are currently under a tornado watch that will stay in effect until midnight. Your forecast is just around the corner.
If you're thirsty for fun this weekend, get ready for the Rehoboth Beach Margarita Crawl. It's happening Saturday from noon to 4. For $25, you can sip and stroll your way through downtown responsibly, of course. Next up, for some fresh sounds, you can check out Milton's New Music and Wind Fest on Saturday. It's free, it's family-friendly, and the finale features a 50-minute walk and listen piece by composer Terry Riley, who's turning 90 next month. Then it's off to Slaughter Beach, where the Red Knot Fest celebrates birds, crabs, and all things coastal. Finally, get your purple gear ready because Ravens Roost Weekend takes over Ocean City with beach vibes, fan fun, and a big parade down Baltimore Avenue. You can find all the details on CoastTV.com under Cool Things to Do.
Throughout this evening, we've been quite fortunate to avoid any direct contact with any of the tornadic signatures that began to pop up around portions of Delmarva. Although on the most western coast of it, it did occur north of our folks that were in Crisfield and Cambridge. But here's the latest look. Now, along Highway 113, we still have very much blinding rain that's pushing throughout portions out of Oakley, headed towards the Milford area. And as we continue to do our tracking, this isolated cell that's staying strong right now, expected to move its way through Anderson Crossroads at 11:18. Then begin to move over towards Slaughter Beach by 11:29, Cape May Point at 12:02. Then at 12:10, it's expected to hit the community of Lower, moving on the trajectory that it's on for right now. Now, as far as the entire squall line, it's shifting very quickly. We're looking for the heavy downpours to begin to affect the folks that are in Bowers, Slaughter Beach at 11:42, and then Broadkill Beach at 12 o'clock. Here's the widest view of what's happening right now. We see isolated cells that's continuing to produce some pockets of some significant hail. That's what you see right there with that signature. But fortunately, that's far away from us, and that's helpful. Now, we are seeing all of this die down, to be honest, but we've been seeing throughout the night that the tornado watches have been downgraded. Now, instead of the entire peninsula, now places like Ocean City and to the south are now under just a simple wind advisory, watching out for about 30-mile-per-hour winds. We still have an active gale wind warning off of the coast out towards the water because the storm is still very active over the water at this present time. And then to our north towards the Milford area, we're looking at some blinding rain as well. Here's a look at the rain thus far. We've had just shy of an inch at Dagsboro, all the way down to about just over a half an inch in Indian River Inlet. The more significant area is a wider view showing we had over 3/4 of an inch in Cambridge. We had a decent amount of rain that happened in Salisbury, over a half an inch, and then just over 1/4 of an inch for us in Ocean City. Let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be under a yellow alert day because we're looking out for another round of thunderstorms to kick off in the afternoon hours. Now, as far as Saturday is concerned, we're not going to be under slight. We'll just be under a marginal threat of severe storms. Now, it's a yellow alert day, so it's not quite as potent as today. We're looking for a half an inch to about an inch of rain, winds sustained at about 30 miles per hour, so the threat is not as dire, so to speak. So at about 1:30 Saturday, we're looking at Seaford, and then at about 5 o'clock, another cell hitting Seaford. This is very isolated stuff, so that's why I'm using my smaller scale here. And then for Dewey Beach by 3 o'clock, and then we're looking for another set, 4:30, between Milton and Lewis and down towards Fenwick Island, and then a more potent one near Bethany Beach at about 5:30 or so. Now the winds are going to pick up momentum about near 40 miles per hour for us Saturday morning, and then pick up momentum again by 4 o'clock in the afternoon hours. And the amount of rain, not so impressive, only about 1/4 of an inch. Now, as far as next week is concerned, we start to become above normal temperature, so we're going to really warm up and become very muggy next week. Finally, here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Remember, we are under a yellow alert day for tomorrow, but it's not nearly as scary as tonight.
Again, Paul. Well, Delaware State Police are reminding people of safety practices as they say phone scams continue. State Police tell us scammers are manipulating caller ID to make it look like calls are coming from official state or government agencies. If you get a call from someone claiming to be in law enforcement, ask for a proper ID, then call your local troop directly to verify. Police will never ask for payments, bail, or court fines over the phone, especially not through electronic transfers. The Justice Department has dropped its criminal case against Boeing. The decision comes despite the carrier's previous guilty plea for 2 crashes that killed a total of 346 people. According to the DOJ's filing, reaching a non-prosecution agreement with Boeing was the better option. Under the deal, Boeing will pay nearly $500 million for a victims fund, in addition to the $500 million already paid. But Boeing will now be able to hire an outside contractor to oversee operations rather than be under the oversight of a federally appointed monitor. Boeing says it is committed to improving safety. Sean Diddy Combs' federal racketeering and sex trafficking trial will resume Monday morning with further cross-examination of a former employee. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest details on the allegations against him and how others are weighing in on the topic.
More bombshells drop in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. His former assistant, who's using a pseudonym, Mia, during his trial, testified Friday that she tried to run away from the job multiple times, but feared, quote, he would have destroyed my reputation, saying I was scared of him. So far, there have been 21 witnesses over 13 days of testimony.
I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage.
The trial being attended by his family and monitored by many across the country. President Donald Trump was asked if he'd pardon the music mogul if he's convicted. He said he'd have a look at the facts and distance himself from Combs.
I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of that relationship busted up.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that include racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. It's not clear whether he will testify at his trial, but another imprisoned former rap mogul and longtime rival told CNN's Laura Coates that Combs should, suggesting it would humanize him to jurors.
He probably was advised not to, but I feel if he do tell his truth, he really would walk. But if they keep him sitting down, it's like he's scared to face the music.
The cross-examination of Mia focused on several of her warm and friendly social media posts about Combs over the years. She'll be back on the stand when court reconvenes Monday. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Coming up in sports, a pair of local teams competed in the baseball state semifinals today, which Delmarva squad is heading to the state championship. And coming up, teen driver warning. The summer season brings danger on the road. How to stay safe, up next.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
The pharmaceutical industry is responding to recent action by the U.S. Department of Health. Wednesday, HHS terminated a contract with drug maker Moderna to develop an mRNA vaccine for bird flu. While the decision directly affects Moderna, rival drug maker Pfizer is also taking issue with the decision. A reporter asked Pfizer's CEO about mRNA safety concerns and accusations that the Biden administration concealed those concerns from the public.
They are not accurate. Both of them are completely inaccurate. The mRNA probably, it is the most utilized vaccine in the history of humanity. We have administered billions, I think 1.5 billion only from Pfizer, right? Dose. So it is extremely well tested. Also, the administration, I don't know what they have produced, but I know what we have produced, and we have, the previous administration, and we have given all our data, not to the US authorities, but to all authorities of the world, and everybody has reviewed them. So I think that those both are very inaccurate.
Well, school's out for summer, and for teen drivers, it's not exactly good news. According to AAA, more than 13,000 people were killed in a crash involving a teen driver between 2019 and 2023. The agency said over 30% of those deaths happened between Memorial Day and Labor Day. That's because teens are out of school and logging more hours of unsupervised driving time. Parents are encouraged to educate their teens on using the Do Not Disturb feature on their phones to ease distracted driving. Well, this Sunday is National Cancer Survivors Day, and a new report that came out today shows the number of people surviving cancer is rising. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has a look at that data and what experts say is behind the increase, plus why they say there's still work that needs to be done.
It's a new record. The American Cancer Society says more people are surviving cancer. A new study led by the organization estimates there are 18.6 million people in the U.S. living with a history of cancer as of January 1st. And by the year 2035, the number of survivors is expected to exceed 22 million.
There was not that long ago that many people thought of cancer as a death sentence.
Dr. Arif Kamal says since 1991, cancer death rates have gone down by about 34%. He says the rise in the number of survivors is due to both improved cancer screenings and advances in treatments.
As an oncologist, when I first started, there might have been 1 or 2 treatments for things like lung cancer or melanoma. Now we're seeing nearly dozens of treatments that are not only more precise and tailored, but also having less side effects and more tolerable.
But the report also highlights disparities. For example, uninsured people diagnosed with stage 1 colorectal cancer have lower 5-year survival rates than those who are privately insured with stage 2 disease. There are also racial differences in treatment across disease stages. In 2021, Black patients with stage 1 and stage 2 lung cancer or stage 1 rectal cancer were less likely to undergo surgery than their white counterparts.
It's really important we're paying attention to these issues of access, because we realize that high quality care can also mean that people have to go to specific places to get it, and paying attention to that will be really important to reduce these disparities.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Playoff action was back today with the baseball state semifinals. Cape Henlopen and Sussex Central both hope to win their matchups today and in turn set the stage for an all-Henlopen state championship game.
The Cape Henlopen Vikings got out to a strong start against Salesianum. In the third, Jace Mitchell sends it deep and it's gone to right field. That made it 1-0 Vikings. And he'd add on more. This time, it stays in the yard with a 2-run triple. He single-handedly helped blow this game open. In the end, the Vikings roll in the semis to a 9-2 victory to clinch their spot in Sunday night's championship game, where they'll go for their first state title since 2022. On the other side, the Sussex Central Golden Knights started off in a similar spot. Jace Jarman comes in to score on a wild pitch to give the Golden Knights some early momentum. Conrad would respond in a big way, thanks to a hefty combination of sacrifice flies and extra base hits. The Red Wolves put up 5 unanswered runs to put this one well out of reach. Conrad wins it 5-2 and advances to the state championship game.
Make sure to download the DSN app and subscribe to DSN Plus for updates on all of the action in this weekend's state title games. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night, everyone.
New today, Grammy Award-winning singer Taylor Swift now owns her entire music catalog. The 35-year-old has been in a battle for about 6 years to buy back the master recordings after her former record label sold them to Shamrock Capital. Swift now has all the rights to all of her music videos, concert films, album art, and unreleased songs.
So our Bay Hill camera in Dover highlighting the fact we have some lingering showers that's continue to push through the area right now. We're looking for rain to continue to about midnight, and that's also when the tornado watch will expire. I've been seeing it continuously downgrade throughout the rest of the night, so it looks like we're beyond the point of being overly concerned about any other additional storms causing more problems. By the way, our umbrella giveaway winner is Joseph Greenhouse of Lewis. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Brogstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Listen, we are watching out for another round of storms tomorrow afternoon, so we're going to stay on the yellow alert for tomorrow, pardon me. Not quite as scary as today, but we will be watching out for afternoon thunderstorms to fire up quickly.
I got it. Thanks for tracking these storms, Paul, and thanks to you for joining us for Coast TV News at 11 tonight. For some more local news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you back tomorrow for Coast TV News at 6 p.m. Have a great night.